Welcome to Kinky Knots Cafe, Proactive is the Way, where we provide you tools and resources to enhance your mind, body, and spirit. Get ready, folks. Let us nurture you from the inside out. Hello there, my friends. I hope that everyone has had an amazing 2 weeks since we last connected. Wow. Time is fleeting. It is almost the end of another year, and in a couple more weeks, it will be my birthday. And I am looking forward to pampering myself for the occasion. For those who know me, I rarely celebrate my birthday. But thank God for my amazing sister, Tiffany. She is always doing something to help remind me as to why I should celebrate life more and live it to the fullest. And for that, I am grateful. Well, it's Sunday, and I don't want to keep you too long. I just wanted to check in to see how everyone is doing and how you are coming along with the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I just wrapped up the 27th chapter, and in a couple of weeks, we'll close this month with the 35th chapter. Hopefully, you are enjoying this pace and are able to truly digest the content for an opportunity to garner a better understanding and reflection. So, what have you found interesting so far? Once again, Robert never ceases to amaze me with these laws. The shock and awe factor is in full effect. I am really interested to get others' perspective on this book. I hope you will take a moment to provide your thoughts in the comments on Podbean or whatever platform you visit to listen in, or you can also connect with me via email at support@kinkyknotscafe.com or visit our website at kinkyknotscafe.com/contact us. As I review these laws, one of the things that I keep putting into the back of my head is that this is one man's perspective in which he pulled together historical data to validate his thought process. Historical data based on a time period that may had to require one to behave and act in a certain manner for survival purposes. But as I shared 2 weeks ago, that in this day and age, a lot of these laws need to be repealed, as these laws are far from necessary. Especially when we think about our global community and building effective relationships and partnerships abroad. Now, you may be wondering, well, why do you continue to read this book? It is because this book is actually extremely valuable. I have chosen to continue with reading this book because it can prove to be helpful by using it as a guide for you and I to better understand the behaviors and psyche of power-hungry perpetrators and how we can leverage this information not to actually put it into practice, but to protect ourselves and our families. As I always say, in the good, the bad, and the indifferent, it's all good. There is always a silver lining, and we must strive to find it. Also, there are some components of certain laws that are worthy and helpful from a positive perspective, and with some tweaking can be woven into our DNA. Today, I will focus on one law that had the right premise, but for me, failed in authenticity. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Robert begins with his manifesto for this law. He states, "Do not accept the roles that society imposes on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. Robert goes on by taking us back to the days of when Julius Caesar made his first significant mark on Roman society in 65 BC, a time in which theatrics were interwoven into global affairs and played out on a man-made stage to enhance Caesar's public image. A global stage that actually exists today. But that is another topic for another day. So Robert shares that Julius Caesar was perhaps the first public figure to understand the vital link between power and theater. Julius incorporated surprise into his repertoire, building drama into his speeches and staging into his public appearances, which helped him to become immensely popular. From Robert's perspective, he believes that we must emulate him. We must learn to enlarge our actions through dramatic techniques such as surprise, suspense, the creation of sympathy, and symbolic identification. Also, like him, we must be constantly aware of our audience, of what will please them and what will bore them. We must arrange to place ourselves at the center, to command attention and never to be upstaged at any cost. He then goes on to share another story about a young woman named Aurore Dupin-Dudouin, who had the audacity to leave her husband and family in the provinces of France and move to Paris. She wanted to be a writer, and marriage for her was worse than prison, for it left her neither the time nor the freedom to pursue her passion. In Paris, she would establish her independence and make her living by writing. But of course, she was not successful and decided to change her identity to a man to find favor and success. That was a very interesting story. You really got to get this book to read about it. So Robert concludes the story with sharing that the reason for this fake persona that she created was that Aurore wanted the power to determine her own fate. She refused the limits her society would have set on her. So as a result, she retained her power by creating a persona that she could constantly adapt to her own desires, a persona that attracted attention and gave her presence. He concluded with sharing that the world wants to assign you a role in life. And once you accept that role, provided you don't like it, you are doomed. Your power is limited to the tiny amount allotted to the role you have selected or have been forced to assume. He believes that you will find resolve in being an actor, playing many roles, forging new identities, one of your own making that has had no boundaries assigned to it by an envious and resentful world. So, Robert, he is spot on about the world. The world is keen on assigning you a role and banking on you accepting that role. And once you do, they will pin you in a corner and you must live out that role. As I was reading this, it made me think about my life, my business, and our podcast. How at one point in my life, I was assigned a role and was being groomed to go into a respective direction. However, I dared to challenge that assignment and decided to take a road less traveled. Of course, this led me into the wilderness, but I eventually found my authentic self. It led me into creating a life that I most desired and not one that was being forced on me. This is one of the reasons why I created Proactive is the Way. Have you ever visited my website and read our manifesto? Why we established this podcast and do what we do? We believe that we are all creators, and as a result, we should be the enactors and benefactors of that creation. You know, it's your life. And if you ever felt that someone was trying to steer you in another direction, it's time to take it back. We believe that you should not succumb to a life not designed by you, and that you have the ability to change your fabricated destiny and design the life that you desire. So with this podcast, we serve as your guide to help you find the strength and love within to navigate this thing we call life and create your most authentic self. And within that, understand that you are multifaceted, just like the notion of God. As scripture reads, we were made in God's image. And not only the image, but we possess God-like attributes. As a result, within this life, we are going to have multiple designs of ourselves. If you have not done so and would like to learn more about life design, I encourage you to check out Proactive is the Way, Season 1, Episode 1 and 2. It's titled Designing Your Life. Throughout our life, we will have multiple versions of ourselves as we work to create the ultimate, the best version of ourselves. It is okay to chart different paths with a compass in hand to guide your steps. This is actually normal. And during this wayfinding period, we understand that this could lead to some challenges. But it is in that journey that you will find your strength as you begin shifting, reevaluating, yet staying the course, moving forward, and never giving up, that you will ultimately find your way. Now, Robert believes that in this, you may have to embellish your true self. And I disagree with this. I know that this all can be done with you holding steadfast to who you know yourself to be, leveraging your principles, the values that you lean on to make decisions and navigate life. And while it may take a little longer, you will find your tribe. You will find your way. Remember that life, it is not a sprint. It is a marathon. I don't believe that you have to play this role of an actor in the sense of falsifying your identity. Perhaps maybe having different versions of yourself, but it can be done in the most authentic way. And if you are lost on how to do this most effectively and authentically, I strongly encourage you to check out Proactive is the Way, Season 1, Episode 1 and 2, Designing Your Life. Pick up the book Designing Your Life by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans, and get to creating and recreating yourself so that you can be the best version of you. This, my friends, is your superpower, one of life's greatest goals. And as Robert shares, working on yourself like clay should be one of your greatest and most pleasurable life tasks. You are a creator, an artist, a designer with the power to create your most authentic self so that you can leave a legacy that will never die. All right, folks, that's a wrap. I hope you are enjoying the 48 Laws of Power. If you have a favorite law that resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the comments section on Instagram, Facebook, or the Podbean platform, or wherever you may listen to us from. If you are just joining us, please pick up a copy of this book on Kinky Knots Cafe's book list. Details are in the description. Join us in 2 weeks as we wrap up the second part of the 48 Laws of Power when we dive into Laws 28 through 35. To access all replays or learn more about Kinky Knots Cafe's Proactive is the Way, please visit www.kinkyknotscafe.com. Proactive is the way, my friends. Take good care.